Okay, so here we are, first session of September, on the 7 up at Coldport again. Good drive up here again this morning, really happy with that journey. Spent an hour walking around looking at different swims, and one swim I really liked, definitely hasn't been fished in for ages because the walk to that swim was pretty overgrown. I got pretty wet walking to it. It's one I've earmarked for later. I ended up setting up in a swim a couple of pegs down from where I actually am now. I've already had to move today. Quite high up from the water, tricky getting down there. But I just fancied some fish to be there. You could see from the swim before it, there's definitely some boulders or something in the water by the vortexes that were coming up. So confident no one would fish that because the water's high, flows quite fast, and you can't really fish that swim. So I was baiting up for an hour, from basically dropping baits just before where I thought the boulders were, in the hope that they'd come along to the next swim along where I was fishing, and then putting the rig out to that. But the flow was just, it's too fast today, or in that swim it's too fast today, which is why I've moved swims. I've moved a couple of swims along now, and albeit I've still got to fish the margins, but in the other swim that I was first set up in, even the margins, the flow was too fast. 4 ounce leads couldn't hold bottom even with a big bow in the line. So I've moved into this swim. I'll give it a couple of hours in here, and I can't get any knocks. I may go back to the car and drive further up the river. I've said before, I've got 2.5 miles of river here, so there's plenty to go at. But I'm using just standard tactics on here. One rod's on a feeder with a 4-foot hook link, 12mm boilie, and feeding out ground bait to that. And the other rod is just on a lead. As I say, it's a 4 ounce lead today to hold bottom, and again just feeding pellet downstream from that position, hoping that fish will come on. It's like I say, it's about midday now, so I think I got here about 8 o'clock, so 4 hours I've not really done. I've probably only fished for an hour, maybe an hour and a half before moving swims. I'm going to sit out here for a couple of hours, have a sandwich and a cup of coffee, and see if we can nick a fish. Try and get some action shots for you. One of my friend's wives apparently commented on, yeah, the flogs are good, but they need more action. It's not for lack of trying. When I fish at Braxton, I've had the GoPros looking at the alarms, waiting for a run, and within 10 minutes of turning it off you get a run. And the recent flog that we did in France, I know Darren had his GoPro on till the battery went flat, which is about an hour and 20 minutes on his rods, and that same thing, within 10 minutes of moving the GoPro off of it, he had a run on the rod. So we are trying. I've even got a cap today with a GoPro on it. I've got this GoPro in my hand, I've got my Nikon with me today, and I've got the other GoPro on a cap, and if we get a run, I'll try and get some footage on it. I do agree, definitely the last vlog was a bit boring, to be honest. Thankfully it was only 16 minutes, but yeah, that wouldn't have got me any either. So we'll see how we go. The rod, we'll give it a couple of hours. If not, we'll move up the river again, see what we can do. Okay, so I'll check in a bit, and hopefully with a fish. That would be really nice, but we'll see what happens. Speak to you soon. Okay, so that move's paid off, albeit only a small barbel, but at least we've had a barbel. Ironically not on the near side. I mean, the feeder rod, the barbel normally in the middle on the 7, unless it's really flowing like it is today, but I still wanted to try the middle. So basically I'm casting, well, more than 3/4 of the way across. I'm casting, aiming under the bridge into that gap, and then on a big loose looped line, it's coming out, and it's stopping about 3/4 of the way over. Again, you probably can't see, but that left hand rod, the line looks like it's going over to that tree, but it has a massive loop on it, and it's actually fishing probably just opposite me, opposite the overhanging tree, about 3/4 of the way of the river. Yeah, and that's what produced the fish. It's the move was good. Obviously, in the earlier swim where we were, the flow was just too much. The tips were constantly bent over, bouncing backwards and forward. You would have had to have, well, that big knock that I just had, the bite I had earlier, that would have registered on it, but it was very hard to see any slight indications. Whereas watching the rods now, yeah, the left hand rod's quivering around a bit as things are hitting the line. The right hand rod in the margin hardly doing anything. The margins have not got a lot of flow. I'm just going to keep feeding that one up. So 1 o'clock now, I'm going to give it another hour. If we have some more fish, I'll reassess whether to stay here longer. If I don't have another fish by 2 o'clock, I'm going to wind in and back to the car and go about a mile up the river, see if any swims are free up round halfway along the river, and give that a go. So yeah, but at least we're off the mark, you know, and things are looking up. One barbel, I've said it before, one barbel makes this journey worth a while. There's no barbel down where I live, so yeah, it's a long way to come, but one barbel does it for me. Anyway, update you again, possibly with another fish, or if not, in another swim. Speak to you soon. Well, welcome back. It's 2 o'clock. I'm in a right quandary. Yeah, I'm all packed away, ready to move. That rod that I was putting over to the far margin and letting it drop somewhere in the middle, 3/4 of the way across. So I thought I had a take on it, but as soon as I lifted into the rod, it was all solid, and guessed I was in a snag. So kept pulling, the end hook broke, as it often does when you're caught on a snag or something here. So persevered trying to put the rod out on that spot. Finally got it on the spot again, and thought, right, I'll start packing away ready for my move. The rod hooped over again, and finally got it in. Lovely 9-pound barbel. It's not a PB for me, but it's close. 9.5's my PB, so 9-pound barbel. But what's more, in its mouth was my other hook and bait. So it was a bite I'd had earlier, and the same fish. So whether I move or not, I mean, to hook the same fish twice makes you think, was that the only fish out there feeding? I'm going to give it probably another 20 minutes. I've put the rods back out. I'm going to give it another 20 minutes. If I don't get a take, then I'm definitely going to move swims, and yeah, I'll update you later on in the new swim, or later on in this swim if I have another fish. But yeah, it's so 3 bites, 2 barbel. It's it's not bad, not bad. The river's fishing tough, so I'm happy with that 2 barbel. Be even happy if I could nick a couple more, but we'll see. Okay, catch up with you later. Okay, take 2 in a new swim. Okay, re-swims now in swim 74, swim I've fished before. Flows a lot slower here, and it's certainly a lot more comfortable than the other 2 swims I've fished today. So we'll see how we go on here. Yeah, we've got trying a new camera for this in this swim. Everything's normally done on the GoPro, and Darren was saying in France about you want a microphone on your Nikon and use your Nikon. So that's what we're trying now. It's as I say, this is take 2 because take 1, when I went back and viewed it, I'd cut my head off. So we'll see how we go with take 2. It's certainly not as discreet as using a GoPro. If anyone walks up the bank, they wonder what the hell I'm doing. So we'll see. But if the picture quality is good and the sound quality is better, so on the GoPro I always struggle with the sound quality. Quite a lot of messing around in the iMovie app to try and get the sound pretty even across the whole vlog. And if you've watched some of them, it's definitely not. It's quite bad on some and good on others. And yeah, hopefully this negates all the time I spend trying to get the sound right. So quite happy with the day. First swim, obviously, yeah, nothing. Second swim, pleased with that. 2 fish, very pleased with a 9-pounder, almost my PB. I'd like to get a double if I can. Yeah, I might actually photograph it if I get a double, but we'll see. We're here. Oh, just had a little knock on one of the rods. That's looking promising. We have knocks already. The rods have only been out 10 minutes, baited up for 20 minutes before I put them out. Obviously time's of the essence, so we can't spend an hour baiting the swim up to get the fish confident before we fish here. But we'll see how we get on, and yeah, I'll do a little wrap up before I go, as I always do. If I get a good fish, obviously I'll video it. Yeah, take it from there. Okay, see you in a bit. Well, 6:30 now. One rod still out. It's almost packed up. I say 1 rod out. Came into this swim. Yeah, first cast. Had that barbel, probably, I don't know, 5, maybe 6 pound. Lost one a little bit after. I'm not sure it was a barbel though, because I was bitten off, so it could have been a pike. Definite bite. Struck into it, only had it on for a few seconds, and yeah, bitten off, so possibly a pike. Yeah, what can you say? Been here, 3 barbel. No, it's a year that everybody's struggling on the rivers, and at least today there's a bit of colour, a bit of flow in the river, and yeah, it's we've come here, we've had 3 barbel. It was worth a trip. That 9-pounder was yeah, close but no cigar. As I said earlier, 9.5's my PB, so we'll keep trying. I may get back again this year, maybe once next month. Depends on the weather. If we have a lot of rain, I won't come back because it'll be in flood, pointless. But yeah, should be out. I'll do one evening in the week over the reservoir. Maybe I'll do an evening in the res. If not, I'll probably be fishing either Friday or Saturday next week somewhere, or this week, next week. Yeah, and yeah, update the vlog a bit more, and see how we get on. Alright, until then, stay safe. See you then. Okay, it's Tuesday evening. I've popped down the reservoir for a few hours. It's 5 o'clock already. Obviously it's getting dark at 8 o'clock now. May sit out till I think 9 o'clock. I'll probably sit out to water's down a real lot. The farmer's been pumping out by the look of it for a good week or so. But I thought I'd come over, see if we can get a carp this evening, maybe 2 if we're lucky. After Saturday on the 7, that's, yeah, I enjoyed my day on the 7. I'm in a swim I've been in before. Amazingly, I say Tuesday afternoon, turn up in a car park, 14 cars in there. I didn't expect to be anyone there, but there you go. So it's really busy on all 3 lakes. So I'm up on the res, I'm in the swim I've fished before, so I'm right hand rod on the usual spot, but a bit further out because the water's down, and the left hand rod's on that 6.5 wraps spot with a little PVA stick on it with bait left over from the river. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'll update the vlog later on, see if we can get a run or at least get a fish on camera. Alright then, speak to you later. Okay, well, 7:30, yeah, 7:30 now. I'm going to wrap this up simply because it gets too dark to video, but I'm definitely going to hang on for another hour. At last we finally got a run on film, albeit it's not a full-blown run because I'm fishing to a snag, so locked up, but yeah, at least we've got a sort of run at last, and the fish from it on film, so I'm going to insert that in this section now. So there you have it. That's the first time we've ever got a run on camera, and as I say, not a full-blown screamer, but at least we've had a run now, and you've got the sort of fish. Yeah, all three fish have been a similar size. I haven't weighed them, no need to really. Still after that elusive 20. I'm on 49 fish now. It'd be nice to 50 if one's a 20, but we'll see. As I've said, I don't know where I'm going to be fishing Friday. I will be somewhere. I wanted to go to one of the other lakes. The chance for a bigger fish, but looking on the Facebook page, everyone's still complaining about the lakes are really busy, and as I said today, 15 cars in a car park when I got here, and it's a Tuesday evening, so I don't know where I'll be, but I'll be somewhere, and yeah, until then, stay safe, and I'll see you on the bank Friday. Okay, so Friday morning, it's 6:45. I'm over at Boreham. It's a lovely lake. It's the lake I did on the very first vlog. My part 1, or episode 1, was where I came, and I was up the other end where the bailiff told me that's a winter swim really. And yeah, there's a few reasons why I've come here. It's as I said the other night, I want to fish a lake with some bigger fish, try and get some better stamp fish. But also this lake, normally you turn up on a Friday morning, you struggle to get in any of the swims that are worth getting in anyway. Not that I know the lake well, but you know the swims. If you turn up on a Friday, you know which swims normally produce, because there's no space to get in there. So the other thing is, tomorrow, from 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, the lake's shut for 48 hours for a bailiff's fishing, social, whatever you want to call it. So my hunch is people wouldn't turn up today, or wouldn't turn up early this morning to be doing their normal 48-hour sessions, because they've got to get off tomorrow. It's only just over 5 miles from my home. As I've said before, I'm still working from home. So yesterday lunchtime, I popped down here, brought the dog with me, and we had a walk around the lake. There was only one person here. They were at the far end of the lake, and we had a walk around. Although I couldn't find any fish, there are lots and lots of lily pads in the lake, and I expect the fish are just holding up in the lily pads all day long. So that said, I went round one little corner and spooked a fish, or I didn't, the dog ran off in front of me, he spooked a fish, and I earmarked that in my brain. If there aren't many people on here this morning, I'd maybe slip in there at some point with one rod and have a little go. So in my head I selected a swim that gave me a few options to fish, and got in the car park this morning. There was only one carp in the car park, and I say you're allowed in at 6:15. I was in here at I was actually unlocking the gate a couple of minutes before 6:15. And yeah, Sod's Law crept around the lake, and the one swim I'd selected to go in is where this guy is. So I've dropped into a swim. Actually, it's not far from the car park at all, but I've selected it because just the way the lily pads are, there's lots of routes for the fish to get in and out of the pads. And my left hand rod I've put tight to some pads in a little gully, and before I even cast out, I started feeding that up with pellet. Whilst I was setting up the rods and that, every 5 minutes handfuls of pellets out there. And then I had one cast with a lead just to make sure the bottom was clear enough for what I want to do there, and spook to fish. So that's good. Yeah, so it's a bit weedy on the bottom there and a bit silty, so I really want to fish a wafter on a KD rig there. So I've put quite a big PVA bag of pellet on there, still got the wafter, little flick out there. I'll see how that goes. I may end up in the more later as the day goes on changing that to a pop-up. My second rod, again, I'm out in a nice little bay between pads, and the bottom's quite clearer then. Because I'm fishing so close in, I don't really want to spod. Ideally I'd put a bit of pellet around there as well, but I can't reach that spot with a catapult with the pellets. So I'm not going to, I'm just going to feed boilies onto there every half hour, 2 boilies, and see how it goes. Left hand rod, again, every 20 minutes, half hour, a catapult of pellet. And I've also got a little set of pads just in front of me. I'd be shocked if someone fished in a swim next to me. It's, you know, it's like a match lake. It's, I don't know, it's 30 foot to the next swim. So I will bait up in there with pellet, keep baiting up all day, and then later on just slip a rod in there, see what happens. Fishing drop off leads today, because if you do get a fish, they're definitely going in the pads. I want the lead off the line. Also fishing locked up, which isn't ideal because the ground's, it's an old gravel pit. It's just, you'll never get bait sticks in here, so I'm on a pod, and with locked up you need to get on those rods quick. I'm 6 foot from the rod now while I'm doing this, and I will probably be sat right next to the rods once I finish doing this. Gonna have a cup of coffee, watch the water, and yeah, update you as the day goes on. Hopefully we can nick a fish. I'm going to do the full 6 AM till 10 PM on here and see if we can get a fish out. There's one other guy's turned up, or 2 other guys now have turned up, so chance of moving swims possibly not good, but we'll see what happens. We'll play it by ear, and I'll update you as the day goes on. Okay, so 7:30 now. Going to, as I did the other night, wrap this vlog up now before it gets too dark. Not a lot's happened today fish-wise. My theory on the lake being empty was totally wrong. It was packed, absolutely packed, and yeah, some people were just day fishing and have gone home, but there's still a lot of people here doing the nights. It's a shame because I really like the lake. Lily pads, deep margins, islands, everything I like about a lake, apart from how busy it is. It's just constantly busy. I doubt I'll come back again. It's just not for me. It's, you know, I appreciate it's only a club water and there's 2,000 members and they've only got about 8 lakes, but yeah, it's just too busy for me. Especially as it's a hard lake, you know, it's not easy to catch a fish out here. There's some good fish in here, which is why it's busy, but you know, I think if you can get here when no one's here, like when I walked around yesterday afternoon or lunchtime, you've probably got a better chance of catching a fish than you have with basically every set of lily pads had people fishing either side of them. not conducive for runs, I'd say, but hey, what do I know. Yeah, so another thing, this swim, if I do come back, wow, it's cold in this swim until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Then the sun came round and it was warm for the afternoon, and as you can see, I've got my coat, hat, everything back on again. It's cold already tonight, so yeah, not ideal. I mean, what I will do, I'm not packing up yet. I'm going to sit out like I said I would. Whether I'll make it till 10 o'clock, I don't know, just because there's just no fish moving around, or you've not seen them lumping or anything other than one lump first thing this morning in the set of pads directly in front of me. But other than that, not seen a fish all day, not heard a run, not seen anyone catch one. So yeah, I may not last till 10 o'clock. If I do get a fish before I go, at least today I have got my scales, tripod, camera, everything I need, so I will take some photos. Unlike Tuesday when I said I would if I got a good fish from Braxted, and 8:30 I landed a fish. I thought, oh, that might be a 20. Went from the scales, didn't have my scales with me for some reason, and yeah, I hadn't taken my camera anyway, so it was too dark to get anything on the video on the GoPro. So whilst that was my 50th fish for Braxted, where I have to assume it wasn't a 20, and the weight goes on for that 20 pounder. Next week's fishing, should have been flying out to St Lucia on Tuesday. Obviously with COVID and everything, that's cancelled, so that's not happening, but I've still got time off work. So on Wednesday I'm driving over to Yateley. It's over 100-mile drive again, but my son fishes Farnham Waters, and I mean, he's had a couple of good weeks recently. He's had a 20 something, 27 last week, 26 yesterday, so he's doing well. Not out of Yateley, at one of the other lakes on the ticket, but you're not allowed guests on that, so we're going to do 48 hours on Yateley South Lake. Definitely not an easy lake, and he has fished there once but not had anything, but we'll see if we can nick a fish. 48 hours, possibly we can. Fingers crossed we do. But yeah, that's it for today. Yeah, if I don't log back on in the car or something to update this, it's looking like the first blank for a while. They come. Unfortunately, that's the nature of fishing. But yeah, if I don't see you later updating this vlog, I'll catch up with you Wednesday on Yateley South Lake. Till then, stay safe. So here we are at Yateley. As I said at the end of the last vlog, made my way over this morning. Quite a good journey over here. Left home 5:30. Was here for 7:10, so that was good. Met my son Michael. He'd already put a bucket in a double swim. He'd got here at 6 o'clock and walked around and had a look. The lake is very, very busy. There's not many free swims, and then walking around swims that are available, it's just the way the swims are constructed on the lake. Everybody seems to be cutting everybody else off, so whilst there are swims that look more inviting than the swim we are in, it's we just decided not to go in them in case somebody then comes along and drops into one of the other swims. So we've made our way round to this double swim, and actually we've got quite a lot of features in front of us anyway. Didn't do any markering around or anything that early in the morning, just got some rods out, so literally one cast, see what's on the bottom, put out a PVA bag onto one spot. I was on a sandbar just off of a willow tree, and then I've got a spot just down to my left. It's 4.5 foot deep, so literally I've put one down there. Fished on till what time, about 11 o'clock, and put the bait boat out with the echo sounder on it, just to get some depth, some what's out there without having to cast loads of times with a marker float. Being it is less busy on here, we want to keep the disturbance down to a minimum. Basically I found, well, I've actually gone under. There's a huge willow tree in front of me. It's probably 40 foot across, and I actually have gone under that with a bait boat, and I've got 5.5 foot of water there, so happy to fish there. Quite a big bed of bait on it. You couldn't cast under there, so it's only been fished if someone's got a bait boat. Just shy of there, it's just literally to the left before you go under, there's a sandbar there. That's about 6 foot deep. I've been fishing a zig out on there today, 3 foot zig, but nothing's happened. As I say, just off to my left I've got a point that I'm going to keep baiting up all day, and we'll fish it tonight. It's 4.5 foot deep, just in front of a fallen tree. So the wind's been hacking into us, a new wind blowing into our swim all day today, and is going to again tomorrow. So I'm hopeful that the fish, if we're quiet, and we are set up away from the edge, so if we're quiet we can get the fish coming into our margins. Michael's fishing a spot just to the right of the willow tree. I think he said he's on gravel there, about 7 foot, and then he's got his right hand rod is halfway out. When I say halfway, not across the lake, halfway within our zone on another gravel patch, and like me he's feeding up a spot to his right. There's an overhanging tree, I think it's 7 foot off of that tree, but he said he's not going to fish it in the night, but if he doesn't have anything in the night he'll bring that rod over, and his right hand rod over, and fish that spot early morning on to see what happens. Yeah, what else can I say? It's, you know, we're here, we've got 2 days, 48 hours, see if we can winkle a fish out. Well, it seems to be a common theme. I'm saying it's not fishing well, but again, it's not. Apparently there's been 1 fish out since Sunday, so yeah, it's not fishing well, but who's to say they won't suddenly feed or prefer the baits we're using or whatever. We're here. If the rig's in the water, we've always got a chance, haven't we? So hopefully it's not a wasted journey, and we can nick a fish or 2 over the next couple of days. I'll update the vlog tomorrow morning probably, hopefully to say we've had a fish, and take it from there. Until then, yeah, see you later. So here we are, lunchtime, day 2, Thursday, Yateley South Lake. Nothing's really happened, to be honest. I definitely got done early this morning, sort of 2 bleeps on the buzzer as the indicator lifted, and then a massive drop back, but nothing there, and that was the bait that was under the willow. As I said yesterday, did a bit of zigging most of the day, but nothing on the zigs. Then moved into my left hand margin that I've been baiting up, nothing on that. Same for Michael, really, nothing. A few more fish have shown this morning. The wind's picked up a bit. It's quite cold on this bank, to be honest, even though it's sunny, and massively high pressure still. But there's been a few more fish showing this morning. Quietly confident we could still nick a fish before packing up. About 20 hours left now, I guess, before packing up, so we'll see what happens. I'll update the vlog as the day goes on, if either of us catch a fish, or if not, I'll just do an end to it to tomorrow, just before I'm going home. So yeah, speak to you either in a bit or tomorrow. Well, here we are, Friday morning. Got another 2 hours till I start packing up. Yeah, very quiet night. Nothing's happened. Never heard anyone else have a run otherwise either. There was a few bleeps on one of Michael's rods in the night,
but having looked this morning, there's a lot of weed come down this end of the lake, and yeah, the rods have got, or the lines have got weed on them. So yeah, unfortunately a disappointing couple of days. We knew it would be hard, and yeah, the weather definitely didn't do us any favours changing to that really high pressure and hot weather. So yeah, and yeah, sat on this bank, a northeasterly wind in your face for 2 days as well, so not the greatest experience. Had you had a fish, be over the moon, I guess. Not sure where I'm going to fish next. Maybe one day session, or maybe just an evening session before the end of the month. If it's just an evening session, I'll be back on Braxted just to try and nick a fish, so we end the month on a fish and wrap the flog up. Obviously between now and packing up, if we get a fish, I'll edit this vlog, but if not, see you on the bank somewhere next time. Stay safe. Okay, so end of September, where I literally finished work, I don't know, 35 minutes ago. Car was already loaded, ready to go, and yeah, it's 25-minute drive here, 5-minute walk to the swim. Saw some fish in the swim, so quickly plotted up, and 2 rods are out on spots already. Just really trying to wrap up the September vlog now. So yeah, it's not been a bad month. Started off really well with the barbel fishing early in the month. I think we came over here, had some carp after that, and we've had a couple of blanks since then, but on tough waters. Yeah, that Yateley South Lake was an experience. A couple of days we were there, seeing swims being rotated, and yeah, let's just leave it at that. I think it's not somewhere I'll probably go back to, but never say never. I say I've arrived here, it's 4:45 now, so we've only got 2 hours till sunsets. Probably try and sit out 8 o'clock, maybe 8:30, just see if we can winkle a fish out to wrap up the vlog with. I mean, obviously year's getting on now, be October in a couple of days, so we'll see. The fish should be on the feed. I'm in a swim where I've seen fish already, and we'll see what happens. I'm trickling in some baits on 2 spots that I'm not actually fishing, and pretty confident I can get a fish off one of those spots before the day's out. I've come really light, but I've got the camera with me, I've got the scales, I've got the unhooking mat, got the waist sling, so if we get that elusive 20 pounder out of here, I'll definitely weigh it and photograph it. It's weird how I've become obsessed with getting a 20 pounder out of here. My English PB is 41.4 £, but yeah, I've become obsessed with getting a 20 pounder out of this lake. 19's my best so far, so 50 fish and 19 pounders the best, so hopefully today we can nick a bigger fish out of here. We'll see. I'll update the vlog probably just before it gets dark, and take it from there, so see you in a bit. It's 6:30. The sun's going down really quick, and yeah, I'm sure it'll, well, I can feel it getting cooler already. It's going to cool down really quickly. I was right to come in this swim. It's I haven't videoed them, but I had 2 probably low doubles, maybe scraper 12 pounders off the right hand rod to that right hand bush that I fish quite regularly from here. I just expected the fish to be here. It's been 4 days of 10 degrees, and then today rain all morning but 14 degrees. This afternoon the sun's come up, 17 degrees. Expected the fish to come into the shallow water with the sun on it, warming it up, and I was right, they were here. So we've had 2 fish. Hopefully still get another one, but we'll see. Again, schoolboy error, no zig gear with me. Surprisingly, there's a lot of fish probably a foot under the water. You know, I've said before, my sessions they range from an evening session like this, a day on the river, 24 hours carping, 48 hours carping, and a couple of French trips a year, which are a week. I can't have 5 kits, so whilst I've got different bags, I'm constantly moving things from one bag to another, and invariably, yeah, I forget something. So probably could have nicked a couple of fish 4 or 5 foot up in the water, I would have said, had I had it with me, but there you go. So here's a different end to our vlog. Well, it won't be the end if I do it right, because I'm going to try and edit this into the vlog. I mean, as you can see, I'm in my car, so I just thought I'd update where we were, because when I cut off, I think I'd had 2 fish, 2 12-pounders, and didn't say anything else. Just before 7, I had a good take, and wow, a real battle of fish trying to get right down the margins, and I had a real trouble turning him and getting him back. Probably played him for a good 10 minutes and got him back in front of me, and the hook pulled, which yeah, disappointing, and not often I get a hook pulled. To be honest, I always rave about the KD rig. I think that's only my 2nd hook pull this year, and I've had 78 carp, so 2 hook pulls out of 78 takes isn't that bad, is it? But I put the rod back out on exactly the same spot, and 10 minutes later had another take off that spot, and that was a 18-pound common. It's weird, I didn't think it was. I thought it'd be about 16, but thought I will weigh this one because it was short but very stocky. But yeah, it went 18 pounds, so that was good. And then I fished on till 8:30, and I've had another 2 takes, both 15-pounders. So you think I got there, started fishing 4:30, packed up 4 hours, and yeah, I've had 5 fish and lost 1. So yeah, good session. What has October got in store for me, I don't know. Got a couple of busy weekends anyway. I would really like to get back on the 7 this week. Keep an eye on the water levels, been pretty consistent all week. There's not a heavy rainfall in Wales expected in the next couple of days. So the 7 at Coldport should be quite good. That said, Saturday the weather is atrocious. Rain, wind. Quite good if you're session carping. You can sit in your bivvy and keep dry and warm, and the fish may well feed, but that's not an option this weekend for me. So we'll just see. We'll play October by ear and see what happens. I'll definitely be on the bank somewhere doing my vlog again. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed September. As I always say, if you do enjoy it, please subscribe. Yeah, I've stuck on 13 subscribers, unlucky for some. Definitely for me, been on 13 subscribers for 3 weeks now, so we'll see what happens. Stay safe, and see you next month on the bank somewhere. Thanks for viewing.